Every buttons block comes with a default output, which is a way of continuing the flow starting from the buttons block. And it always comes in this purple button over here that you cannot delete, you cannot edit it. I guess you're wondering, what do I need it for, right? Well, don't worry, we're gonna explain a few cases where you should use it. So a first case when you could use it is when you have a buttons block that only has one button. So you can just connect the default output, that means the exit from the buttons block, to the next block, or you can just connect the button itself to the next block, and the result would be exactly the same. So there's no need to connect both of these options to the next block. Case number 2, and this is how it starts getting interesting. So let's imagine that you have a question where you have more than one button, and that more than one button leads to the same block. Right here, for example, I'm making an example. I'm gonna ask, did you know about the default output? And the answers will be yeah, or I had an idea. And then for the next ones, it will be not really, no, and what? Okay, so here I'm gonna connect the two first buttons to specific blocks, okay, because I want them to lead to specific paths. So if the user chose the answer yeah, I will connect it to a simple message block. I will do the same for the next one, connect it here. Okay, and for the 3 remaining ones, I don't want to connect each and every one of them to the same block because they will have the same answer. So I can just connect the default output to this block instead. So as you can see, the 3 last buttons will remain unconnected, and I will connect the default output instead. And the user can choose from any of these 3 options, and it would go to the block. All right, you love this video then. Okay, let's go to case number 3. I'm gonna just delete the example I have already made, and then I'm gonna make a new one. So when you have, for example, a question where all your buttons lead to the same block, you can use just a default button. For example, let's use a scale block. As you can see, it doesn't matter in this case to me which one of these buttons the user chooses. So they will lead all to the next block. So I can just connect the default button instead of connecting each and every one of them to the same block. And this is case number 3. Let's go to case number 4 of how to use the default output. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to use the default output using the multiple choices option in the buttons block. And in this case, we really recommend you use the default output to guarantee that your bot flow will continue regardless of the options the users choose from the buttons block. So let's add here option 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the multiple choices option. Let's save it. And then we'll connect the default output to the next block, because regardless of what options the user chooses or the combination of them, the bot flow will continue. So we're going to go through a couple of cases here when you should not use the default button, okay? So I'm going to set up here a buttons block that each button leads to a different message block. So as you can see here, every button already has its flow defined. It already has an output defined. So in this case, there's no need to connect the default button because it would be useless basically. So you can just leave it unconnected. There's no need to use it.